All right, so with setting up your tires tubeless, the first thing that you want to do is to inspect the rim tape on your wheel. This one here is pretty standard. It's brand new, so we know there's not going to be any punctures or any problems with it, but that's not to say that it couldn't happen with yours. So just inspect it over, make sure it's sealed up well, make sure that the valve core is in the groove here really well and that it's fixed tight. The next thing that you want to do before putting your tire on is to inspect the tire. If it's a used tire, you again want to make sure there's no sealant fixed on the bead or anything that's going to get in the way of it inflating and fixing to the side of the rim. So we're just going to get the tire on as quickly as we can, and the great thing about having no tube in there is that you don't have to worry about pinch flats. So this one's pretty easy to get on, fortunately. All right, so the tire is all the way placed on, and the beads of the tire are positioned in the trough in the center of the rim. There's a lot of different ways that people recommend inflating a tubeless. Immediately with a new tire like this, I like to just put it under air first before putting any sealant in, because if there's anything that's going to require more work before inflating it, I don't want to get tire sealant all over the place. Once the tire is put on and you're ready to pump it up, I like to use a compressor because it's the way to get the most amount of air into the tire the quickest, and it's going to be the easiest to seat the tire. Most compressors work with a Schrader valve, and this here is a Presta valve, so you need to have a converter. And this is a little Presta Schrader converter. You can get them pretty much at any bike shop right near the cash register. You put this on, you thread it over the Presta valve, and then you can just put the Schrader inflator right over the top of it. I have my compressor pumped up to 100 psi, and so basically, I will just see if it seats when I put it under pressure. There we go. Now that we have the tire seated, the next step is to slowly deflate the tire and then inject the sealant into the rim. Okay, so now that we have the air out of the tire, we need to be careful with the rim because the tire is still seated, but there's no air in it. And so in order to put the sealant into the tire without removing the tire, we have to remove the valve core. We have this special tool right here that's pretty much just like a small piece, a small wrench that we just put over the valve core, and then we're able to unthread the valve core. The next step is to add the sealant. Here we're using orange seal. And with this, it requires 1 to 2 ounces of fluid. Doesn't exactly matter how much, but just, that's about 2 ounces. And then you just take it off. You put the valve core back on the valve stem. And tighten it snug. So now that we have the valve core back on, we're just going to spin the wheel a little bit to spread the sealant throughout the tire. Steering it around a little bit, just making sure that it's evenly mixed throughout. And then the next step is just to pump up your tire. Sweet. Solid. Tubeless setup, V tires on Irwin carbon wheels.